afternoon, FSG25. We are celebrating the 20th anniversary of FSG this year, and what we will be kicking off with the historic Skidpad. What is the historic Skidpad? Well, we will invite from each of the parts. We have been pretty good. Well, the plan with each of the parts from their previous years and participating in like a little competition here at FSG. And the first one that was released is the Skidpad. And soon live we have already started as well, so welcome to all the online viewers. You can follow all the live events via YouTube and video shorts as well. And you'll get to enjoy our commentary. So you want to know and we're going to be quite challenging and also to get each of the parts, so not only the and already the sure what it is. H24, so the H71 historic, well out. It's a green big car without any airbags. And then yes, it's slightly older, it looks like it's a special car. I'm very curious what they will do with it. Second car H41 from Eindhoven with and then we have H53 Dortmund from the U Sweden, and again, question to driver.
2013 says the driver. Nice. More than 10 years old, 12 years old. Still competing. Drivers, you can telling me that this is the oldest electric vehicle that's currently present in the historic cup. I won't bother them too much. The team member is trapping the driver in as tightly as possible.
I'm going to pause you there, Monty, as we have H24, our first car entering the track for the historic Skidpad.
Nice and cautious. First right, second right-hander, and then there's two left. From the angle where I'm standing, I can really see how close to the ground this car is. It's crazy, and not scraping it. I cannot even believe it. That's a very clean run from the TU Dortmund team. They have a time of 6.5, which I think is a very good banker lap. Let's see what the driver can do now in his or her second run. Almost stalled it at the beginning, but managed to rescue it. Well done by the driver. And clearly it's going quite a bit faster, slightly understeered currently, but the driver manages to keep it under control. It's 4/10 quicker than the right-hander. Wow. Quite an improvement actually. They went from a 6.5 to 6.2. Well done by the driver. So maybe for the people that are less acquainted with the rules and what Skidpad is exactly, I see the driver looking for a place to park his car in the meantime. I think he's getting a little bit lost. Needs to be careful. I think I need to get out of the way here. I'm in a dangerous spot. Anyway, so I was explaining the rules of Skidpad. So they get 2 runs for the manual Skidpad. I'm not entirely sure for the historic. I think they have slightly different rules. But for the normal competition, the human in the loop gets 2 runs. They can do it after each other. They can do it separately to change settings. I do think here for the historic cup, they will get 4 runs in total. So 2 per driver. Although I'm even not too sure if it has to be a different driver.
Now we have the first Eindhoven competitor of the 2 that are present at FSG, at least of the 2 historic ones present at FSG, entering the track. Also starting a little bit tentatively, I would say, but the driver probably just dialing in, trying to find the limit of the car, the limit of the track.
Yeah, but he made a bit of a mistake. He did twice to the right and then just went straight, unfortunately. So he kind of forgot to go left, or I think more likely he kind of got lost in on the track. You could definitely see from the driver that he noticed his mistake or her mistake. So let's see if he or she can correct it this time. He gets a little bit of instructions now from the marshal where to go exactly. So also for the viewers, it's 2 laps to the right and 2 laps to the left, and then you finish by going straight again. I think that's what the marshal is currently explaining to the driver. A lot of people are laughing a little bit. So, even the team from Eindhoven, they can see the fun of it. That's nice to see.
2 loops to the right completed well this time. You can hear the cheer from the audience. The driver finding the left loop as well. And already another purple time.
Yes, we're mocking the driver a little bit, but we shouldn't have, because that's a 5.69, a 5.7, I think. That's the best time so far. No cones, I think, and it was a clear run. It's cool to see the Eindhoven car, the historic one, was driving the Skidpad, and I think, I'm not sure, the latest car is actually running on the test track right now. Could also be a historic one, I'm not sure.
I think it might be another historic one.
I'm not sure if the live stream can also show the test track, but it's really cool to see how the Eindhoven car on the test track is making some really cool turns. It's slowing down now, unfortunately, but you could really see the control systems working on that car to get it into the perfect corner.
I see in the meanwhile the other orange car that was in the queue, University Siegen, has left the queue, and instead we have car number H69 rolling up. I believe that is a Diepholz Dynamics.
Yeah, lovely car to see. I think they also participated last year in, was it also the Historic Cup, or was like the combustion reunion at the end of the combustion of the event?
Something of that sort, yeah.
I remember that car driving it on the endurance track, being slightly oversteered all the time. Great to see. So indeed, Igor, it is the car from Diepholz that it's making its way to the Skidpad right now. H69, driver's about to start the car. I just had a little discussion with the team members, and it's a car from 2015. So that's not the oldest we've seen yet, but about there.
No, I think the oldest car that I saw in the pits was from 2003 from Stralsund. So hopefully we'll get to see them running today as well.
Yeah, we've seen that car many times here before, also in the combustion reunion event, as we mentioned. And off they go. Let's see if they can improve the time from Dortmund and Eindhoven. A lot of steering angle is needed, as you can see from the steering wheel. Maybe they've chosen for a very high resolution steering angle. Clips a few cones, unfortunately, in the switchback. But other than that, looks like a quick and fun run.
But you see the driver making a lot of adjustments to the steering wheel, so the car is maybe, trying to burst out of control. The driver is taming it in, and for a time of, Mate, can you see it?
Yes, I can. It's a 6.26. went a little bit slower on the right with a 6.4, but on the left was quite a bit quicker with a 6.09, averaging out to 6.26. Of course, clipped a few cones, so the marshal is rebuilding the track as we speak, but looks like the driver is dialed in a bit better now, and let's see if he can improve on his first run. It's really tricky, of course, to get these tires up to some kind of temperature in these short runs. And it's also not too hot here at the moment. I think it's a moderate 20 and a bit degrees, so tires are not by default up to temperature. But this looks quite good.
Tires are not by default up to temperature?
Oh yeah, there's a 5.9 on the right-hand side. Really the driver fighting with the car, getting everything out of it. Oh, the 5.85, that's extremely good. That's very close already to the time of Eindhoven, and they were of course running with wings.
Well, now that you say that, I see that the other historic Eindhoven has decided to join us. Probably going to be a bit of friendly competition going on between the Eindhoven alumni as well. Yes,
this one is H40. The previous one was H41. I'll again have see if I can catch one of the team members and ask what year it's from. And as the numbering suggests, this one is from 2018. And the previous one we saw was from 2019. I'm very curious to see if they can improve. This is indeed quite direct competition, you know, 18 versus 19. The teams really want to prove themselves against each other. Cars look quite similar, of course. We're a bit biased by only looking at the liveries. So maybe some of you at home also wondering why the car is kind of like standing here with so many people around it. That's because the scrutineers are doing some final checks on the cars, mostly to check the safety of the car, of course, also to check if they didn't do any cheats on the car to bypass the rules. Although I feel like that's something from the past. So they do some quick checks on the car to see if it's safe to go. And then also after the run, there's something called post-scrutiny, where they again get checked if the car is legal. But all in all, these checks go very fast. The scrutineers know what to do. Also, the team members are used to these kind of checks, so this goes relatively quickly. And if there are more cars in the queue, then you can start to stack them. And then everything can flow in a very quick motion. And I think, Igor, one of the cars you mentioned 5 minutes ago is making its way here.
Yes, indeed. I think I do see the H3 of the 2003 Stralsund rolling up in the distance. I see also the tractor system is engaged on the Eindhoven car H40, and they are now rolling up to the start line. So, Matti, bets, do you think they'll do better than the previous Eindhoven, or the same, or maybe a little bit slower?
This is a difficult one. My guess would be a little bit quicker maybe, because the driver in the previous one made a mistake at the beginning. But of course, equal chance that this driver can make a mistake as well. Hits the ground while starting. Very smooth going around it. You can already hear the tires, that's usually a good sign.
Hits the ground, but also hits the ground running quite quickly.
Big slide exit on the right-hander. But it all looks quite quick and clean. Still a lot of sliding. But times do not lie. That's a 5.13. It looked a little bit, I'm not going to say messy, but like sliding left and right, but it's an equal time right and left, 5.13, also meaning they average out. So yeah, quite a bit quicker.
Now, what do you think? Are we about to see our first sub 5 second time?
I think so, yeah. I'm confident. You could already hear the tires a little bit, so that means it's gripping up. Driver also knows a bit more what the limit is, because clearly he went over it in the previous one, and yeah, this looks very clean. Very curious to see the first time. 5.05. So I might be proven wrong. Come on, give me a below 5 seconds. Thank you, 4.96, and that averaged out to 5.00 exactly, so I was wrong in the end. Great driving by the driver, he can be happy. So hear a lot of applause here, so it's nice to see.
And I don't know if it's the shorter time window or just the experience from years gone by that the alumni now have, but I have to say the queue is filling up nicely right now at the beginning of the event. Of course, you mentioned that often at the quote-unquote real competition, teams tend to wait until the optimal driving conditions, until the track is rubbered in, until the track is warmed up. But great to see that alumni are, trying to be a little bit more efficient with it, making their way over as soon as they can.
Yeah, indeed, that's nice to see. And I don't know what happened, but suddenly everyone wants to make their way. There's even a little overtake going on in the queue. Not sure if that's allowed or how that works, who will get priority. Gert is trying his best to push that 15, but he's getting overtaken by the Dortmund.
And I see also in the queue already, behind Stralsund, we have a car from TU Fast.
Definitely, one of the combustion cars. I'm not 100% sure which year it is, so I will ask the team again. So it's H17 from 2017, TU Fast combustion car. They tend to be, or at least back in the days, and now I think everyone has nice aero packages, but they used to have like really big aero packages with a lot of downforce, so they should perform very well in events like Skidpad. TU Dortmund also going for their second driver run. Behind the TU Munich is the Delft car with the TUT15 H85. And I think in the car is Len. Len used to be the chief engineer of the TUT15. I was also part of it back in the days. So I know it's a quick car, it can do a lot of nice things. Certainly on Skidpad. I think they even have the wet pad record, or at least they broke it during 2015. It might get get beaten again at FSN, I think in 2021 or something. But a quick car for sure. And then, yeah, actually one of my personal favorites, a car that I still get nightmares from, Grimzel. Crazy fast car from 2014. I do not even have to ask. I competed against it, and it was not so nice because they just beat us fair and square. H33, that's what the Zurich team always goes for. 33, massive rear wing. It also says the quote, "Farewell downforce," because that was the last year they could use very large wings. You'll definitely see. So I expect a lot from this car. And behind the Zurich car there is H05 from Kiel. I'll have a question. I'll ask them from what year it is.
And while you're doing that, Matti, we have the car from Stralsund at the starting line. Just waiting for the final approval from the scrutineer. The driver's told to put their visor down, does so, and off they go. Tentative first couple of turns from the driver. I'm not sure if they're just trying to feel out where their car is. Of course, over 20 years old, older than many of the competitors here this year. looking a little bit faster on the left-hand loops. And across the line in 7.4 seconds, I believe. And the Stralsund driver electing not to go for their second attempt immediately, so maybe there is something with the car that they're not quite too comfortable with, but hoping to see them back very soon. So Matti, what year is the Kiel car from?
Right, it's from 2006, and funnily enough, it's the first time they're here on FSG. So even almost 20 years later, 19 to be exact, the car finally made its way to FSG. The car is driven by Julia. I asked her if the car is any good on Skidpad, and she said she doesn't know because it's their first time here.
I see car H24 from Dortmund coming back for their third and fourth attempts. And again, the driver progressing very tentatively. Picking up pace a little bit as they go along, as they settle in. They don't quite manage to improve on their best time from before.
Of course, this might be another driver, so also this driver needs to get in the feeling, get in the tires a little bit. Always nice to first do a little bit of banker lap. Let's see if he or she can push it now.
Not pushing too hard at the start of the second run.
Of course, the first right-hander and the first left-hander do not count. So it's the second one that matters. So they do speed up a little bit. Let's see, it's slight improvement maybe. Oh, that's a third to the right. So that's one too many, and unfortunately that's not allowed.
Yes, unfortunately that will be a DNF.
I have to say personally, if I would participate in Historic Cup, I would also do a few more laps. I mean, it's only one opportunity to drive this car again on FSG, so maybe that one was what the driver was thinking.
Well, we don't know what the future of the Historic Cup and the alumni will be going forward. But indeed, you need to take this opportunity while it's definitely available.
And next to me, maybe you can hear it through the mic, the Munich car is starting up. Had a few issues starting up, but not quite. Attempted number 2. Combustion cars always are a bit iffy, but once they go, they're quick. So I'm really looking forward to this car. I expect them to have a lot of downforce. If it's also a driver with a little bit of experience, then maybe he or she can push from the get-go. And apparently, off they go before I tell the story. Tentative from the get-go, but again, first right-hander doesn't count, so the driver has all the time to speed up, but he does have to speed up. Come on. Doing a bit of a banker lap. I think that's lap number 3 to the right.
Indeed.
So again, miscounting a little bit, and then loses the track. Makes me think of one of the driverless cars that went straight through. Luckily, there's no timing equipment in the middle anymore. And I think that's again three to the left.
Well, maybe the driver's just trying to, get themselves as acclimated as possible, sacrificing one run to do so.
Yeah, makes sense. I actually heard from the past drivers, I won't name any teams, that it can be a genuine tactic to do a few more laps to the right and left on your first skidpad run to get the tires heated up. Could be the case, although I don't think driving straight through is a valid tactic.
No, probably was not part of the plan. But let's see what they can do on their second attempt.
Yeah, it might be just first time for the driver on a competition. Always a bit stressful. And off they go for their second run. Okay, I'm really curious. Definitely a bit quicker. So that's good to see. Looking nice and steady, that's the way to go. And now, come on, switch. Nice, yeah. Maybe we should shout louder so the driver can hear it. So far, there's a good run. Below the 6 seconds on the right. Woo! A little bit of oversteer on exit, but 5.88, so a pretty decent run from the driver.
Now as the Munich car goes into the post-scrutineering section, the car number H85 from Delft is taking the starting line.
Yeah, come on, Len.
Let's not show any bias here, Matti.
A little bit. He used to be my race engineer in 2015, so I need to cheer for him now. But it's really fast, actually. Right-hander, let's see the first intermediate time. 5.6, okay. Good banker. Ooh, sliding a lot in between the switch. And that's a 5.6 for his first run. That's a very decent start. I do feel like the tires are either quite old or not up to temperature because the car was definitely sliding around a lot.
Well, let's see if they do any better this time around.
All looks clean, a lot cleaner than the first run where the car was jumping around.
Quite a bit faster as well.
Yeah. When it looks slow and steady on the skidpad, that's usually the quickest ones. Nice exit. And that's a 5.3.
Good time. I think the second fastest time of the day so far.
Wide applause. And then he's going for a third time.
Yes, because I believe that due to the limited number of alumni that teams are capable of bringing to the Historic Cup, you're allowed to do 4 runs with the same driver instead of having to switch. So let's see if he can keep on improving.
Indeed, I hope he sees some feedback on his time so he can see that what is quicker and what not. This is definitely quicker, 5.2. So he is getting the lap times down. Let's see on the left, 5.1. Wow, it's a 5.19. That's 0.2 off the top time from Eindhoven so far, and he's going for a 4th run now. Just note, I think this is the first time Len drives on a competition. So far he's been perfectly clean, no cones so far, and times are getting better and better. So great to see.
And improving yet again on the right hand.
Wow, where does he keep finding the time? It must be the tires just getting cleaner and heating up. And it's a 5.09, only 1/10 of the best time so far. So well done, Len.
You can see he was trying to find out what his time was. Almost hit a cone there on the exit, but caught it just in time. And a great 4 runs by the Delft team as now AMZ taking the starting line.
Yeah, we need some dramatic music, I feel like. Dimsel finding its way back to FSG. This is also the car that broke the acceleration record to 1.5 seconds. Remember, that was the first time they really did a big dig. to the below 2 seconds.
A big what, sorry?
Dig, yeah. Not sure if that's the right word.
It'd be interesting to point out that both the DUT15 and I believe the Grimsel Aims at 2014 car were champions here at FSG in their respective years.
Indeed.
So some real FSG royalty driving around here.
Yeah, and it's driver went for a cautious approach, I think. 6 seconds. Again, might be a driver that's doing the Skidpad for the first time. But getting it nicely without any cones, that's great to see. And yeah, World Championship car, 2015 Delft car as well. So that's the bias I was talking about earlier. It's usually the good cars that make it back to the historic cup. So you do have a bit of a bias of only top teams and top cars that join these kind of events. A little bit quicker, 5.7 on the right-hand side for Zurich. Driver getting a bit more comfortable. And that's 5.7 overall. I'm curious to see if they will also go for a third run or will mix it up a bit. Who is going for a third run is the 2019 car from Eindhoven. They were here already half an hour before. This was the car that initially went straight, kind of, after two right-handers. But then eventually set a really good time. This looks good.
I think for now, between the two Eindhoven cars, the 2018 was the faster one. But indeed, this does look much faster from the 2019 entrant as well.
It's 5.3 on the right. That's a good start. And that's a 5.3 overall. That's a really good start for the first one of this driver, unless this was the driver from before. Can they shave off 3 more tenths, then they can match or even beat their 2018 competitors. Oh, and he's pushing, that's for sure. But still keeping it very clean, that's what we like to see on the Skidpad. Ooh. In the switchback, sliding a little bit. Drivers always want to go on throttle at the exit, often a bit too early. But it is quicker. And that's a 5.17 overall. I think this is the third quickest we've seen so far. So
I believe so, after the other Eindhoven car and the DUT15. So a nice little Dutch, how do you call it, triplet? Not a duet, but a...
Yeah, indeed, Skidpad seems to be something for the Dutchies. As we are joking on, it's the 2006 car from Kiel. This was actually their first car they ever built, so extremely impressive to see that the car is still running. Driven by Julia, who's going to do her Skidpad. Curious to see how hard they can push this car.
And I will say, just looking at all the cars in the queue and on the track, it is also great. A great showcase for the evolution of the FSG rule set, of the FSG engineering practices, engineering theories. You know, some cars without wings, with wings, large wings, small wings, electric, combustion. It's great to see the variety that has graced these tracks over the years.
Definitely, and of course the Kiel car from 2006, no wings. So that does give you a disadvantage on the Skidpad. But still, it's below 7 seconds on the right. I did see that the driver had a little bit of a understeer or mishap on the right-hander, and you can see on the left it was 6.08. So yeah, I'm confident in the second run she can go below 6 seconds.
Yeah, and she clipped a cone on the left-hand circle as well, so not 100% clean. But of course, we'll expect to see a good improvement now that both the car and the driver are a bit more settled in.
Steady on the first right-hander, it's very clean. It's always hard to keep these combustion engines on like constant throttle, constant torque, but she manages well. And that's below second, we called it. Let's see, That's a 5.87 without any wings. That's really impressive. Good job by the team of Kiel with their 2006 car. And I think the TU Munich car that is now entering the track with the biggest rear wing I've ever seen. This is from the 2014, I would guess, maybe 13. Stalls the car, unfortunately. Gives us a bit of time to talk. Immediately restarts it. H31, car from Munich.
I believe one of 3 historic Munich cars that are at FSG this year.
Yeah, they are very much present. 2 combustion cars and 1 electric, I think. Very curious to see which one is the fastest one. It's a 6.4. Again, a cautious approach in the first part of the skid pad. Speeding up a little bit on left-hander. Right was 6.4, left was 5.7, so on average that's a 6.07. Definitely more potential in there. The driver will definitely get a time below 6. I once heard from a driver who drove one of the Munich cars that the engine in the car vibrates so much that it feels as if your teeth will fall out. Not sure it was about this car. That just gives you an impression of how violent these engines can be. And it's a 5.65, great improvement by the driver on the right-hand side. And a 5.6 on average. It looks so steady, so much grip on this car.
I've noticed, Matti, so far there seems to be 2 main approaches that the drivers take. One is to drive all 4 laps very steady, try to keep it at the same speed, in the same steady state. And some other drivers who do a smooth first lap, and then on the second lap they power out of the loop. They maybe sacrifice their first lap to the left-hand side, but of course the first one doesn't count. Now we have car H25 from Dresden.
It's from 2018, team member told me. Electric, of course.
If I remember the 2018 year well, this one was a very quick acceleration car.
And again, slightly slower on the right, so 6.1, but a lot quicker on the left, 5.5, averaging out to 5.6. Not sure how that math works out. Maybe they did a lap too many. Or it's a 5.9 on average, not sure. Something with the timekeeping, at least on the screen that I see, seems to be a little bit odd. Maybe they counted 1 lap too many or too little. I did not see, did the driver do 1 lap too many or little? I don't think so.
No, it all looked clean to me on the first try. Well, let's see how they do on the second.
Oof, bit of understeer on the right-hander, but it's quick, 5.77. Now it's a bit oversteered on the left, interesting.
It's a very, very low car as well, just like the Dortmund one. You can barely see between the bottom of the car and the floor. But they do improve.
5.6 indeed. Very good run. I think every run below the 6 seconds is an extremely good run. If you can get it below 5, that's just epic. It always very much depends on track conditions and how warm it is, what the optimal skid pad time is. But so far, I think the level is pretty high.
And now we have H74 from Erlangen. Looking pretty quick.
Yes, again, a car with no aero, but they're very quick. So maybe aerodynamics is a hoax after all. 5.77 on the right-hander. They're wrapping up their left-hander right now. Again, a 5.7. So this driver was immediately dialed in. Almost equal time right and left on their first run. Makes me think he or she has a little bit more experience. They go for their second attempt. You see the driver pushing a bit more, but the car does get a little understeered. It is quicker, 5.6. Definitely pushing more, but will it also result in a quicker time? It does. Shaves off a tenth of a second. Next up, the car from Siegen. And this is the oldest electric car, the team told me. If I remember correctly, it was 2000, I don't know, 13? My memory is leaving me. Very silent car. Again, a non-aero car, but it is going quite quickly. Very well balanced. 6.1. That's usually a good start.
Yeah, you can hear a bit of a rattling noise coming from it, but it's not stopping it from doing well.
6.1, really good start for them. Yeah, the rattling noise does sound like something electric, so maybe it's like a speed limiter, or you can actually hear the switching noises. Once it stops, it's silent. Pushing a little bit more now. The rear even stepped out, and again, slightly oversteered the car. But it is quicker. 5.8 for them.
And looking quicker on the left as well.
Indeed, and they're one of the first cars that have a quicker right-hander than left-hander. In total, they were 5.95 second time, and they are going for the third run. So they are doing the Delft 15 technique.
And as Siegen goes on their third run, I am hearing something positively epic starting up in the queue, Matti. What is that making that noise?
Yeah, I'm standing a bit too close, I'm afraid. It's the Esslingen car with indeed great noise. They already started their car thinking that Siegen would only do 2 runs. So they will be revving here for a while. Amazing noise coming from that car. I think it's an AMG engine in there.
And Siegen, meanwhile, seemed to be having some trouble with the car. The driver also got a little bit confused, did 3 laps on the left-hand side instead of 2, so unfortunately that will be a DNF. But also the car did seem to be moving a little bit jerky, a bit of a jerky fashion. So hopefully no big mechanical difficulties, no big electrical difficulties.
Yeah, you see that often when drivers are pushing more and more. Then once you get over the limit, you get all these weird bounces of the car. So let's hope for them that's the case and not any problem with the car. It does seem to have an issue now, so maybe you jinxed it, Diego.
Yeah, commentator curse. We knew it was going to strike at some point. Always a shame when it does.
Yeah, I saw the driver signaling like this is it. I cannot move. So it does. The T-sol, so the red blinking light on top is still on, which means the high voltage was still active. So a little bit of caution needed. But team members are in the neighborhood, and they will probably push the car away and make room for the Esslingen car. I want to go and ask what year it is, but I think it's too noisy over there, so we'll just have to guess.
I don't think anybody will hear you. And meanwhile, I see another trio of orange vehicles joining the queue. I see H17 from Munich and H41 from Eindhoven coming back. And also the electric historic competitor from Munich joining us for the first time as well. The Siegen teammates, meanwhile, they have stepped back, so the car will get going again. Yes, it does. Looking quicker than before, I must say.
It is quicker, 5.8. So even though the car lost a bit of tire temperature while waiting, it is still quicker. And that's a 5.85, their personal best.
Well done, Ziegen, improving on their last run.
All the aerodynamics on these combustion cars, so nice. Of course, with the electrics, you always are a bit more concerned about your energy. With combustion, you can just put as much downforce on there as you want. And you can clearly see that in these older combustion cars. And off they go. Quick start, that's for sure. Sliding around, heating up the tires. Definitely a driver with confidence. That's 5.47. I had a feeling it was quicker. That's a 5.36. Okay, good start for them. Will they be able to get it below the 5 seconds? Seeing a little bit of tire warming up on the way back. Not sure what we're waiting on. I see the officials discussing a little bit. Maybe something to do with timing or maybe some issue on the track. But we have a green flag, no worries. And off he goes. That looks cleaner. We don't have that push of oversteer.
No, and the throttle does sound steadier this time around as well, so maybe the driver knows where that optimal steady state is now.
Yeah, also a lot lower pitch on the engine, I feel like. I lost the timing screen for a second, and it's back. Well, I say that. A 5.2. So a 10th improvement for them, and they are not going for their third run.
No, but also the best combustion time we've seen so far. Now there's another.
It's from Regensburg, H62, completely black car. Pretty cool, and actually behind him in the queue is also another car from Regensburg, H26. So they have the numbers inverted, 62, 26. Looks, sounds nice. Very close to the ground as well. .6 on the first right-hander. Well, second, I should say. Driver really leaning in with his head. And that's a 5.58 in total. Again, this driver also doing a little bit of accelerating and braking on the way back. Not 100% following the rules, but I think in the historic cup, everyone's a little bit more lenient.
And also electing to do all 4 runs, or at least 3 of them immediately, one after the other.
But yeah, they only have half an hour left, so I mean, I think it's pretty smart to do all of them right now.
No, indeed. And still not all cars have made their way over. So in classic commentator fashion, historic teams, alumni, if you want to get a Skidpad run in, get on over here.
Yeah, they went a lot quicker, 2/10 quicker even, 5.39 on this run. They do not elect to go for their third and fourth run, so they probably will do a quick driver swap and get in there, but they have their companions from another year, probably before, either 2013 or before, with the big wings still, also from Regensburg. Huge rear wing. Wow. Again, the driver deciding to slide in between the switch between right and left. I'm still not convinced it's the right way to go, but definitely the most fun way. And that's a 5.56. That's really seems to be the time that everyone's getting. But it's nice that the track is now getting rubbered in, because after this we have the driverless Skidpad. So then at least there's already some grip on track. Lovely sound. A lot more steady. So following my theory, this should be quicker. It is. Oh no, it's not. It's a tenth slower on the right, actually. It's a 5.54. So on the right it was a bit slower, on the left it was a bit quicker. Also, this driver deciding to do the third run. Lovely sound. They're also running the smaller Continental wheels, I think. That's my guess, at least. With a very low, small sidewall on the tires, making it a little bit more sensitive, but with other advantages. I think in an event like Skidpad, it can be quite beneficial. And the driver is speeding up. 5.48, very steady improvements by this driver. Warming up the tires on the way back.
Yeah, it does seem so far that the sort of the operating window for these somewhat, somewhat older cars, somewhat more mature vehicles is somewhere between that 5 second, 5.5 second point. But I do see some more vehicles making their way over to the queue. I think at least one or two that we haven't seen before, from Sevilla and the other competitor from Delft, the H17. In the meanwhile, H26 does not improve on their right-hand loop. But they do improve on the left and improve overall as well. And the driver giving a few celebratory revs there as Stralsund comes back to the starting line.
Yeah, in the coming 27 minutes will be extremely exciting. We have the 2018 electric car from TU Munich lined up. Also the car from Diepholz. Grimsel again for their third and fourth run. We also have the car from Sevilla. Another Munich car, the combustion one that we've already seen. Eindhoven car, another Munich car, many more cars, and also the Delft car from 2017, making its way for their first runs, actually.
In Stralsund, meanwhile, I believe the driver only did one right-hand loop. As you see, they have already left the track, but the timer is still running, so they only did 3 instead of 4. Unfortunate error there, as the car from Munich gets ready to drive up. So, Mate, do you think this will be the first sub 5 second?
I think the potential is definitely there. Again, the question is this an experienced driver or not? I think it is. A very aggressive getaway. Something you don't usually see on a Skidpad, but pushing it very hard already. Oh, look at that car, has so much grip. 4.89 on the first right-hander. You can see the car slide and jump, but it's perfectly in balance. Great to see. 4.8. First run, 4.8.
Incredible. And let's see if they'll go for their second immediately. Yes, they do.
I have some inside info that they will do 4 runs. So they will hopefully only improve and improve. Extremely fast driver. Did have some issues finding the entrance again from the Skidpad. But yeah, hopefully those tires get only warmer and warmer and the track only cleaner and cleaner. Oh, again, aggressive start.
Oh, the car is on rails.
And super clean switch between right and left. It looks steadier. Is it quicker? It is. A tenth of a second again. 4.74. I think at this point they should stop the timing because I'm not sure if anyone will beat this.
Stop the count, indeed. Well, except them themselves, of course.
And I think in 2018 this was one of the better cars. I don't think they won FSG. They had some issues with post-scrutiny. Wow, driver really pushing it right now. This is crazy. 4.69 on the right, and the left is typically a bit quicker. A few mistakes from the driver, but will it cost him? 4.68, again an improvement. All right, will he be able to get it below the 4.6?
Yeah, it seemed that at a few points there, the driver pushed it a little bit too much, going just over the limit, and that slowed them down ever so slightly. So let's see if they can put up a perfect
exactly
skid-pad attempt here.
Come on. Looks good. Nice slide, but it didn't cost them any time.
Maybe just a little bit.
Just, yeah. Also here on the left, it's sliding a bit too much.
Ooh,
going
big
very wide.
Slide on the exit.
It's a 4.73, so yeah, really nice by the driver. I think their third run was really on the limit, maybe even slightly over, and then yeah, he pushed on the fourth one to get to find the final hundredths of a second, but didn't manage. But well done by the TU Munich team. Very impressive to see. Will someone be able to match that time? Maybe the guys from Sevilla, the combustion car. I did not have the time to ask from what year this was.
No, and so far not looking just as quick as the Munich vehicle, but of course the driver on their first attempt, just finding their comfort zone right now.
I just spoke with the team, and it's a car from 2019, and the driver is Frangameno. I probably butchered the name, my apologies. But it's a really good run. 6.6, there's definitely some potential there. But really cool rear wing. It's kind of consisting of two pieces. So you have the normal rear wing and then one that's actually in front. Interesting concept that we do not see that often in Formula Student. Maybe it's not allowed anymore.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when the majority of combustion cars had such an element structure for their rear wing, but indeed not so much anymore.
Diepholz in the meantime lining up. They're really trying to get all the cars in as efficiently as possible, while I say that Sevilla improves a bit.
But the driver improved a little bit too much and they missed the exit lane and knocked over a couple of cones afterwards. I don't know if that will count towards their time as potential penalties. Hopefully not.
That is a shame indeed. The exit does look like a lot of fun though. So, you know, if you're here for fun, then maybe it's worth pushing. We also saw some other cars as well pushing it on the exit. I think more for the purpose of heating the tires, but there's definitely some fun aspect in there as well.
Maybe we'll see a power slide or two in the future.
Oh yeah. Diepholz cautious approach. So my guess would be this is another driver. This is their third run. Tactic we've seen with many other drivers, taking cautiously in the first run, but keeping it clean. While I say that, instant commentator curse, they hit a cone. It's going to be a near 8-second skid pad. They improved a lot on their left, so the driver definitely getting dialed in. It's a 7.47 for them, not their personal best. Let's see if he or she can now improve on their fourth run. Yeah, that driver definitely trying to push it a bit more, but it's tricky. Ooh, is that? Oh no, I miscounted. I thought for the moment it was their third to the right. but definitely a lot quicker. More than a second improvement even from this driver. And it brings them to 6.3.
Big improvement for the driver, not the best time that Diepholz has set today. But nonetheless, good improvement from the driver, shows that there is indeed a lot of potential in that car once you get settled in.
We have the 2017 car from Delft lined up. First time we see them here, at least this year. It's the driver's Robin. He just arrived today, I heard, and we will do 4 runs. So hopefully we can see a similar style as with the Munich. A bit sliding, steering in and out. It's a 5.08 already, the first right-hander. Big power slide on exit, and the left-hander was a 4.99, so that brings them to a 4.03 already on their first run. The TU Fast guys, they improved a tenth per skidpad, kind of, apart from the last one. Will we see the same trend here?
Yeah, you can see the driver on the return lane. He was sort of accelerating and braking, trying to get as much heat in those tires as possible. Let's see if that helped.
It does look cleaner now, which usually means quicker. 4.9 on the right. You even see some brake lights sometimes. Ooh, big slide at the exit, but it is quicker. 4.87, 1.5 tenth improvement. Can the driver keep up this pace of improving? Two more attempts. I do feel like these tires from the Delft car, the Vredestein Apollo compound, but once they start to heat up, they get more and more grip. Also, once they get cleaner and cleaner, they tend to grip better and better.
Well, you'd say that about any tire.
Oh. In the switch, the car started sliding and unfortunately hit a cone. It was quicker, 4.8 on the right. Wow, and again, big exit, 4.82. It does feel like the driver is nearing the limit of what the car can do. Certainly on the left, there was no improvement.
Or at the very least, the limit of what the driver can do.
So what will we see now? An extremely aggressive approach, or will the driver try to get all his learnings together in this one final run?
I feel like it will be aggressive.
Yeah, I think so too. Ah, this is very clean. We were wrong, Igor. At least so far.
Well, aggressive and clean are not mutually exclusive.
Exit is cleaner, definitely. Wow, 4.76. That's crazy. From such a tiny car. That's a 4.75.
Oh, wonderful time. Wonderful time by the Delft car.
Only 700ths away from the Munich 2018 car. Amazing.
I think I don't have the information pulled up right now, but it will be interesting to compare later how they did at FSG 2017 versus how they did right now.
Yeah, I think back then it was still wet pad, so I think it will be hard to compare. But there were of course, dry skid pads on other competitions. Schweinfurt making their way to the skid pad. Their first to right-hander was a 6 second, 6.1. That's usually a good start to get below the 6 eventually. It's a 5.99.
Now just under 15 minutes left on the timer, and I see there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars in the second driver queue.
Yes, but what's nice to see is that there is no cars in the first driver queue, so to me that indicates that everyone at least had one run. That's good. And off they go, Schweinfurt H97 with their typical green and white livery, I think. Oof. Driver forgot where the track was.
Yeah, hit a cone coming back in, but their first loop did look steadier and it was indeed faster.
So will they do a third run? I hope for them they will, because the chances are slim that they will get a third run in. If they queue again, yes, they will.
Yes, I see the driver was also accelerating and braking, preparing the tires for their next attempt. A little bit slower off the line.
Yeah, car was held back for a few seconds, so maybe the driver had some issues getting the car started properly. But no drama, off they go. It is slightly more cautious on the right-hander. But it is a lot quicker on the left. In total, they almost matched the time at 5.87. And they're going for their final run.
Yeah, the driver was really speeding through that return line.
The official telling the driver, I think, that this is his fourth run and he can exit after this. He does stall the car, or at least shut it down, I think, probably to just listen what the official has to say.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, it's really hard with the noise of the engine, plus you're in a helmet, it's like impossible to hear someone talk. Off they go. Fourth and last run for them.
Much better start this time.
Nice, clean, and quick. Come on. Yes, 5.7 on the right. That's their best.
And looking good on the left as well.
A 5.74. Great improvement by the driver. Steadily improved his pace, although made a little mistake, but got it all together for the fourth run. Again, a time below 6 seconds. That's super nice.
And indeed, having your fastest attempt be your final one is, of course, also what you want to see. As H17 from Munich comes back, one of their combustion entrants. Yeah, Matti, you're standing a little bit closer. I think there might be some trouble with the AMZ car, that other cars are being driven around it.
Yes, they were asked to start. I do not see anyone panic, so I guess it just takes them a bit longer to get the car started. So they just signaled to the Munich car to go past them. Now maybe also, but it seems like they got their stuff sorted together and they will be going next.
And the Munich car, meanwhile, sounding a lot louder and looking quite a bit faster as well.
It is their personal best, a 5.6. Yeah, crazy to think that the 2018 electric one went almost a second quicker than this one. Of course, with the electrics, you have all the torque factoring, stuff that the combustion car do not have. And I do feel like it's a bit bumpy on the circuit today.
Indeed,
so,
especially on the left-hand loop, you could see a lot of cars jumping around.
Yeah, and I think that's where your torque factoring can definitely help you keep the balance in the car. Driver struggling to get the constant throttle in. It's harder than it seems, because once you accelerate, your body moves forward and you kind of resonate with your throttle pedal. That's why it's important to be strapped in tightly.
And they did improve on their final run. Unfortunately,
yes.
They do seem to have clipped a cone. I can see the marshal putting it back now.
Crazy improvement, 5.1 for them. As we say that. Grimsel returns. 2014 car from Zurich. Their previous attempt here was somewhere in the 5 seconds, I think.
I think it was a little bit above the 5 seconds. The driver starting a little bit tentatively, but you could hear the car bumped a little bit on the track, so maybe that's why.
A bit oversteered. But tires are cold, of course. It is a 5.2. It's a very good start.
You can see the driver, especially on the left-hand loop, Matti, like you say, a lot of bouncing, a lot of adjustments needing to be made.
Yeah,
they do improve.
Yeah, definitely 5.24. So I think that is the first run of this driver. It's their third run in total. I think that is a very good start. And will he be able to get it below the 5 seconds? I think it looks like car is capable to do. But of course, you only have 2 attempts, which makes it very hard.
It's a big ask, but definitely within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, you definitely already see the grip difference. Car not sliding from the rear on the first right-hander. 5.07, very close to the 5-second barrier. Very quick on the left. Nice, and it's a 5.04.
Fantastic time by AMZ. I think that is the 3rd fastest time of the day. After the,
I think
after the cars from Munich and Delft, I think that was the 3rd fastest.
Yeah, I think there are a few cars at around this 5.0 something mark. We should look it up afterwards.
I think the car at the start line now, Eindhoven, I think they were at the 5.05.
Indeed, and they said it very early on in the session. This is the 2018 car, and you can see how the torque factoring is helping the car to rotate. I hope anyone on the live stream and on the grandstands can kind of see how nicely this car rotates. It's 5.06 on their first right-hander, and a 4.97 on the left. So in total, that brings them to 5.01. I think they had a 5.00, no?
Yes, 5 seconds flat, I believe. Well, already very close to it. And the tires are a little bit warmer now. The driver is a little bit more tuned in. So I'm sure we'll see another sub 5 second here. And Matti, you said before that you were glad that there are not that many cars in the first driver queue. I see now there are at least 3 making their way over to that queue. But are those historic cars, or are those this year's driverless cars for the driverless Skidpad starting soon?
My guess would be it's driverless cars, because they're definitely not in a hurry. They're also waiting over there.
Eindhoven, meanwhile, looking very quick.
It is.
And another sub 5 second time.
It's a 4.88 for them. So that's a 2/10 improvement almost. No, 1.3 tenth improvement for them. Nice. That's definitely the 3rd fastest we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And is this the loudest or the 2nd loudest we're seeing right now?
Yeah. Let's call it equal with Esslingen maybe. Definitely the largest rear wing.
And a good improvement on the right-hand loop.
Personal best for them. So this looks promising. 5.34.
Is that the fastest combustion so far, Matti? I believe it is.
Yeah, well, maybe. I think the Munich before here, what's the combustion? It did a 5.1. I'm wrong, it did a 5.6. So that might actually be the quickest combustion.
Speaking of sub 5s, I believe we have just under 5 minutes left in the historic Skidpad event. So I'm not sure that all the cars in the queue will get to run. But at least the ones that do get to run, we hope we will see an improvement from them, as we do right now from the Munich car, improving yet again.
Yeah, a lot quicker on the left than on the right, so there's still some potential to be found, but really great lap time, 5.23. Closing in on that 5 second benchmark. And lovely to see this car again.
And now we have the car from Kiel, was it, Matti?
Yes, 2006 if I remember correctly. Their first car. They had a really good run actually for a non-aerodynamic car in their first 2 runs. Let's see if this driver can improve.
Well, like you said, this is their first time at FSG with this vehicle. So any time they set is going to be their personal best here.
It's crazy, 5.43. That's like almost as quick as the Munich car we've just seen, without any aerodynamics. It's crazy.
I think maybe the orange is the unifying factor here. All of the orange cars seem to have been doing very well so far. As we see, I see there's another orange vehicle from Dresden lining up. And it does look like an improvement from Kiel. Indeed it is.
They're into the 5.3s, at least on the right hand, which is usually slightly slower. Yes, 5.29. That's almost matching the Munich car from before.
And what is it, Matti? What is the cause that the right-hand loop is usually a little bit slower? Is it because it's the first and the tires are a little colder? Is it the conditions of the track?
Yeah, I think that definitely plays a role. Of course, conditions on the track in terms of bumps, that's usually the most defining factor. And as I say, that the TU Dresden car from, I think, 18 or 19 established, 18, is making its way. It's sliding a lot, so quite oversteered. That's their setup, which is good for the warming of the tires. So they do improve their personal best, 5.45, which I think is close to what they did before. But definitely a lot warmer tires now.
And let's see what they can do in their final run. Very aggressive start.
Yeah, you mentioned how good they were in acceleration. Clearly they're also using that those skills to do their skidpad.
Well, it's paying off so far.
There's a 5.28. Amazing.
There's just under 30 seconds left, but I see there's not that many historic cars left in the queue, so we will see what the marshals decide, whether they will be allowed to run and complete all their runs or not. In the meanwhile, H74
Erlangen. They did a really good first run, quite aggressive. This looks a bit more composed. And the driver decides that he has enough and chooses to go into the exit. That's of course something we see in the driverless as well sometimes, that sometimes it just has enough.
Indeed, perhaps the driverless are not as far from driver performance as a lot of people say.
And we can see the driver asking to the official, like, or wondering a bit like, oops, I've gone wrong, I think.
And I believe for Erlangen, this is the fourth and final run. Looking smooth, but as we know, smooth is fast. Not quite managing to improve, but still looking very steady. I think definitely.
Yeah, sub-6 skid pad. So as I said, that's always good. Gets in the points. Driver can be happy, even though a little mistake in the first one. But I think the approach from the first driver seemed to be better, going a bit more aggressive with these kind of cars.
Indeed, and I believe the officials are choosing not to let the rest of the historic cars finish their runs. It is, of course, already past 2:30. It is the time slot now for the driverless vehicles to show what they can do in the skid pad.
Yeah, indeed, we're on a tight schedule. I think in 15 minutes officially the gates will open for the driverless cars, and then we have the whole afternoon to enjoy them. I think there will be a lot of cars that will make their way. Typically we see that the driverless setup of the cars takes a little bit longer, so there's a little less throughput, so make sure to queue early. no excuses on track conditions. I mean, we had plenty of historic cars laying rubber, so make sure to get your first run in early, and then you can wait out the sun for a second run.
So, lovely first dynamic event for FSG so far, and we will see you back in 15 minutes.
Yes, thank you.